I'm on my way to Northwood this morning to do another interview with the people of long-term care. And this morning, I'll be interviewing Beth. And Beth is a care worker who has been taking care of Heather for roughly 11 months now in Northwood on the 9th floor. She's amazing. She's an incredible, dynamic, interesting, and compassionate and skilled worker. So let's go see what Beth has to say. So, as I said a little while ago, we're doing an interview with Beth, who is a care worker here on the 9th floor of Northwood Care. So Beth, thanks a lot for doing this. I really appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
And I've been here, Heather's been here for 11 months now, and I've known you, gotten to know you over that period of time, and I got so much respect for you, and you know, I consider you guys friends, actually, so
Thank
I
you.
appreciate you doing that. So what's your name and your position here?
So hi, my name is Beth. I'm a Continuing Care Aide, a CCA here at Northwood, and I've been with Northwood for about 6 years, and on this floor for 2 now, almost exactly 2 years actually.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So I've got some questions here. I'll run through them, but you know, you can go off script and talk about whatever you want.
Yeah, sure.
The first one is, what first drew you to this kind of work?
Yeah, so my mom was actually a nurse and RN, so I always enjoyed like her conversations, her stories about healthcare. And I honestly had so many doubts about what it was I wanted to do and if I was truly deserving of a role like this, because you can't just come into this role with a paycheck in mind. There has to be a push, a drive. If you come into this job with a paycheck in mind, you're gonna fade out rather quick. That's not something I really wanted. So those were, I think, the biggest things was like trying to figure out if this was something that I was deserving to do. And then, you know, everything happened with COVID, and I don't know, I felt like that's when I got my calling. I actually applied to Northwood 6 separate times.
Wow.
Yeah.
6 times.
6 times. Yeah. And then I actually got, like, I was reading something online and it said, like, when you're doing your cover letter, don't write this instead. And I was like, okay. So I just switched it up and I ended up getting a call and getting an interview, and here I am.
And the rest is history, as they say.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, that's often it's a circuitous route, but it sounds like you had an idea what you wanted to do early on. That's great. Beth, for people who've never seen what you do day to day, what does a sort of typical shift look like for you? And I understand they're like 12-hour shifts, right? So it's a full day.
Yeah. So coming in, we basically, get all our stuff together, make sure we have everything we need for the day, like on our carts, make sure we have plenty of water on hand, and make sure we're not going to be like running to the stock room for certain things. Then we go to the nurse's station, and we get the little, like, our roles for the day, like who we're going to have, who we're going to be taking care of, get any updates, like report if there's any change in any of the residents, and just like if anything happened yesterday during our time off that we need to know about. Then we start doing getting people up and ready. That starts at around 7:30, and we make sure people who want to be out for breakfast are ready and out. We deliver trays. We make sure the people who need to assistance feeding are assisted, and then it's break time, and then more care, and then lunch, and then we put people down for naps. The ones that need to be put down for naps, we make sure people who need assistance using the washroom are assisted, and then by that time it's like 2:00, so we do our charting, and then after we do our charting, we I sit outside and watch the elevators and make sure no one tries to run away.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, and then we have they have their 3 p.m. report meeting, which I don't need to be there for, and then it's pretty much making sure people are up from their naps, making sure they're able to use the washroom, and bring them out for supper and get them ready for bed.
That's a full day. I've witnessed what you guys do, and it's not just one person, not one resident.
Yeah.
You've often got multiple people needing help and care, and then every once in a while there's a crisis.
Yeah.
Somebody gets upset, or something is spilled or broken, or something unexpected happens. So
Yeah.
you guys are multitaskers. I've seen that. It's quite something. Here's a question that I don't know if it's easy to answer or hard to answer, but what's the hardest part of the job, like emotionally and physically?
I would say it's the emotional part.
Do you do any self-care for that, like yoga or massage or spas or anything like that? Do you do that stuff?
Yeah, I do massage,
Great.
TENS machines,
Yeah.
like hot and cold plunges.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
What would you say is the most rewarding part of this job?
Seeing the little things that people do, like if you have someone who is maybe nonverbal, and with you they say something, like that's like,
Cool.
yeah, like those are the things that like you hold in your heart and keep you going for the next day, right?
Yeah, little
Yeah.
moments of joy or positivity.
Yeah.
I love that. Is there anything that you wish that families that are, have family members coming into care, is there anything you wish they'd understood better about the residents here and the work that you and your colleagues do? Is there something you wish that people would understand more about your role and your job?
Every case is different because everyone's brain is different. So
Oh, yeah.
every person with dementia is not going to act the same way.
Yeah.
And it can be very overwhelming when you come in and you see, well, my mom's not like this. My mom doesn't do that. Like maybe she
Yeah.
doesn't, does she belong here? I don't know, right? And it can be very overwhelming and very, very scary sometimes. And I think it's just a matter of trying to understand that we're all here for the same reason. We're here to love and care for the people around you, that we try genuinely, and that we're working to understand your family and everyone else as best as possible.
I love that.
Thank you.
And the sense I have is that you and your colleagues are always assessing the situation and then adjusting, making micro adjustments and
Yeah.
adapting how you help people with meals and how you communicate with them too. So
Yeah.
I noticed that when Heather first came in, I had that feeling. I was just bewildered. What's going to happen now? How are people going to treat her? The workers here going to treat Heather and so on.
Yeah.
And it was scary. There's no question about it. But it didn't take long to have those fears sort of put my mind at ease that no, everything's going to be okay. So that's part of that skill, I guess. Okay, here's a good one. And this is talking about skill. This is the skill that you guys bring to the job.
Okay.
How do you build trust with residents who might be frightened or confused or resistant to care? How do you build trust and get through to them?
I give them options, I find. Sometimes they don't always want to have their care done. And if they're able to communicate with you that that's not what they want, you can give them options. You can say, okay, you don't want to have your care done like this morning. What if we gave you some tea and we gave you some breakfast? Then did you want to get washed up then? What if some people are very concerned about their hair, like, how does my hair look? Fix that first thing. Make sure that that is the focus point. And and once you kind of focus on those little things and you see little quirks, and
Yeah.
you adjust to those quirks, I find it makes things a lot easier,
Yeah.
Some people, if they're right sassy, you can just kind of take a step back and laugh because they were probably sassy their whole life, right?
Yeah.
And now they're just having their feelings.
Yeah.
And it's okay to to take a step back. It's okay to like leave the room. Don't feel like you have to push. And know that everyone's going to be done in their own time, and it's okay.
Interesting. It sounds like you build relationships with the people here, with the residents, based on their personality. Yeah. Well, that's pretty cool. So this is. I already asked this question. I'll ask again.
Okay.
This is intense and intimate work, and to me, it looks physically and mentally demanding. And so how do you look after yourself in general? I know we touched on like self-care, massage and TENS and so on. How else? Are there any other ways that you look after yourself, after your own well-being?
The hardest thing, I'm sure people can imagine, is when we do lose someone. And when sometimes we lose someone and, they're still new. And I feel like that's the hardest part because I didn't have that chance to develop that relationship with them yet.
Yeah.
And sometimes I feel in my heart that we just didn't have the chance to do totally right by that person because we didn't have the opportunity. And those are the times when people say, you can't let this job get to you, you can't let this job get to you. Yes, you can, and you should. When you feel that heartache, that pain, it's important to sit with it and understand why you're feeling that way. I've sat down in the car and break down and sob. I will have Cheetos in the glove department. My partner knows full well when I come in to the car. Sometimes I'll need to have a scream and a sob right then and there. And I truly think that is what helps me keep my humanity, and I feel like that's what part two that keeps me going is the next person I'll have the chance. The next person I'm going to they'll have that sense of community, that sense of like caring. And they'll know truly that they are safe and comforted and cared.
And so you have to let, I forget what the term you use. You have to rest with it or live with it or let it be with you.
Yes.
You're grieving. I guess you're grieving in a lot of cases. And it depends on the circumstances how deeply you would grieve. I find that interesting that if somebody's here for a short time and you lose them, that's particularly hard. You said because you don't get a chance to do right by them. That's really something else. What qualities would make somebody really good at your job, at this job? What sort of personality traits?
Having a sense of humor is very, I feel very important. Having a calmness. General, working on mindfulness. And being able to have empathy. I feel like empathy is a skill. It's not a skill everyone has.
No.
And I think that being able to understand, maybe not fully, but in some way that what this person is doing is very difficult for them. Whatever it is, walking from the room to the dining room, going from, upstairs to downstairs. And it's not, their life is much different than ours.
Empathy is a big one. It would be nice if that was sort of part of the school curriculum in elementary school. Let's talk about kindness and empathy and, human interaction and stuff like that. Maybe it is, I don't know. And that's one of those traits that I think you either have it or I don't know if people can learn empathy, but and maybe it changes with age too. I have no idea, but it's obviously a very important quality. If you could say one thing directly to families who are struggling with guilt or grief or exhaustion because of dementia care, what would you want them to hear? What kind of message could you convey to those families?
We're packed animals for a reason. You were never meant to do this alone. Not ever. So when you are exhausted and overwhelmed, it was never meant to be totally on you.
Yeah.
We're all supposed to, they say it takes a village to raise a child. No, it takes a village, period.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
Couldn't agree more. That's a powerful message, and that's something that I've tried to convey on my channel, the "You Are Not Alone" message.
Yeah.
When people are desperate, they need only reach out, because there are 1-800 numbers, and there are friends. There's always somebody around who's going to ready to comfort you and help you through things, from a professional to just a friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're pack animals for a reason. That's yeah. What's one thing about you personally, Beth, that might surprise people who only know you through work? I don't mean to put you on the spot.
No, that's okay. I think probably the fact that I make TikTok videos is a little
awesome.
Some people find it surprising. The other thing is for a little while, I read palms for.
Wow.
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And I used to do it because, I'm actually, when I'm in crowds, I get very nervous. So I used to just do it as a party trick so I could get to know people. Yeah.
Well, that's genius. What a way to socialize. I love it. And just to wrap it up, what does a perfect day off look like to you? If you have a day where you're not wearing your scrubs and you're not going to work, you're not on schedule, what does a sort of perfect day look like to you?
I love going on random adventures.
Oh.
So if my partner is off, because I work shift work, so we don't always have the same day off.
Yeah.
But if my partner's off, we'll go for a long trip to the valley, or we'll hang out around Halifax. We'll go for a nice walk along the pier. I like to go hiking. I love finding new places that I've never been before. I get lost all the time. It's
part of exploring.
Yeah, just like finding new places, like new restaurants.
Perfect.
Having a new experience.
Yeah.
I guess is just like that's the best day off. It's
Yeah.
like having a new experience and a new story.
Love it.
So I can come back here and tell my residents.
Yeah, and come back recharged.
Yeah.
Look, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you sitting down and talking to me candidly like this, and I know it's going to help a lot of people, and it gets out whatever message we just discussed, whatever message you conveyed, and it destigmatizes things, and it just adds a human element to this whole thing. So thanks a lot. I got utmost admiration and respect for you.
Thank you for having me, John. I appreciate
Okay.
it.
All right.